All right, Uti Katrak joining us from Bangalore. With me here in the studio, Anirban Sarkar. In fact, let me begin with you both, Anirban as well as Nimish Gupta. The fact is, and then we get in Uditi as well, which is that the Prime Minister has set the roadmap. He says, there's no ban, but yes, we should all work towards, 2022 being as the target. Can we get there is the key question.
See, setting up a target is okay. But we have to work on a roadmap. Objective is defined, but systems to the objective has to be there. See, it's not going to be so easy. The reason is plastic has become part of our life. Now, if you really look at, you see that we have segregated it. One-time use, you cannot use it. You have to ban it. Above 50 micron, you can use it. Now, tell me something. Is somebody going to carry a vernier with him to find out if it is 50 microns? Or you walk into a shop and somebody gives you a bag, you don't know whether it's 50 micron or not. Second thing is, 70% of our purchases, we use plastic bags. Now, what is the substitute to it? We know it is hazardous, plastic is hazardous, it's creating a problem to the environment. But what next? Do we have an alternative to it? So we have to start seriously thinking about it.
Do you see more of this happening after the PM's message today? Because it's loud and clear. It's, as I said, it's not a ban because it's not coercive in nature, but it obviously means that a people's movement is what the expectation is.
Here I would like to differ a bit. See, in urban areas, people will follow the instruction. At least we talk about 70–75%. But what about rural? Rural is a challenge. And see, today India, we have 75% rural.
Yes.
So it will be a big challenge for us. But yes, if we start working, and since the ball has started rolling, I don't think so by 22, but at least a day will come where we will eradicate plastic. And there are ways of recycling plastic. But again, if you recycle plastic, if you put in a incinerator, again we are talking about green and we are talking about environment, we are creating CO2. So that again is a problem. We have to seriously think government has to come out with solutions that, okay, fine, we know there is a problem, the problem is to be addressed, but what next? Are we ready? See, problem is we have banned it. What next? Now, if the household...
No, we haven't banned it. We
have not banned it, but the thing is that today we are saying that nothing less than 50 microns. But then what? The household wet waste, where do we throw it? And how do we throw it? How do we dispose it? Do we have a solution for it? Second thing, see, today it's very important that, today we have allowed the industry to flourish. Now, suddenly you ban, just imagine how many people will be losing their job, losing their livelihood. See, all these things also have to be taken into consideration.
Yes,
Are we going to rehabilitate them?
When you talk about banning single-use plastic or when you talk about eradication over a period of time, there are a lot of parallel concerns, because as I said, one part of the concern is that yes, what do you do with the people employed in these units? What do you do with the entire ecosystem that exists right now? Do we have the wherewithal to be able to recycle this much amount of plastic? Do we have the wherewithal to replace single-use plastics with some of the other alternatives? Those are real questions that we need to find answers to.
See, basically, let's go to the root cause. The root cause is people who manufacture this. Start banning them. And see, in India, if we have fines and other things, we have recently seen about traffic. To a certain stage, they will pay the fine and then they'll come back. I think education level, basically hammering is very important. And internally, it should come that, yes, I have to take care because my next generation has to survive. Because if you have seen, the repercussions of these things are pretty bad. It has affected the environment, it has affected the marine life.
No, I'll tell you, I have a slightly different view on this, and the reason for that is that Bombay tried some of this. They tried some of this almost a year and a half back with fines, penalties, all sorts of provisions, and BBMP has not been able to make any sizable dent so far. And given the scary picture of Mumbai coastline, one would have wondered the awakened citizenry would have taken some measures. That hasn't happened.
See, why we talk about Mumbai, India has got a big coastal line and we have a lot of beaches in India, and when you go, it is really very pity to see that, during the high tide, the amount of plastic waste coming and, it lands up on the beaches. It's very pathetic actually to see. But till, see, And who go there? The people who go there are all educated people. You know, these people should, awareness campaign should be there, you know, people should, and I think personally that you ban from the root. The manufacturers themselves should be, be banned. Once that is banned, I think so 50% of your problem is solved.
Yes.
And recycling, see, I'll tell you what I agree to Mr. Goel, that recycling is very important. But again, when we talk about recycling, like till today, I'll tell you, a year back, all the waste all over the world, the plastic waste was going to China. And China was recycling it.
Now they stopped it.
Now one fine day just picked up their hand, no, I will not do it. Now the problem is, see, you don't have anything to fall back on. Now suddenly you come out with, 10 million tons of plastic, what to do is the next question. I think that we have intelligent people in the country, we have, good engineers in the country. Let's start working on something, and I think it's a very good move by the government that, they have started off. So at least the, the objective is defined. Let us make systems to the objective. When you talk about plastic bottles, see, I am into water treatment and I have done plants related to water. I have packaged water system. The bottles are all above 50 microns, so they are recyclable. I am talking about, which is under 50 microns, which, the people who manufacture plastic bags. I am not talking about people who manufacture PET bottles. I am talking about people who manufacture plastic bags. I am talking about people who have thermocols.
Yes.
These are the people I am talking about. At least if we target them, it will be taken care.
Okay.
This is what I am talking about.
Okay, so it's reached disastrous proportions. I was reading a CII report which said that, you compare India to some of the other countries, our per capita consumption of plastic is just 11 kilos, which is a third of what it is for some of the other countries. Can we really afford to be having 3 times of the plastic that we are already consuming? I'm sorry, the answer to that is a no. You want to come in, and then I get in Aditya Ruya as well. Yes.
See, let's go back 25 years. I remember that we didn't have plastic, milk coming in plastic bags. We used to carry, there were bottles which were coming. I used to see people carrying a steel can and going and taking milk from the vendor. We can go back to that. See, it is on us that it is for us to decide that should we be with the plastic today or should we go back to what, because see, a very clear message I would like to give from this channel is, either we wake up today or the next generation, as it is, water is contaminated, air is contaminated, the environment also will be contaminated. I think we should leave something for the next generation.
Oh yes,
so
absolutely.
I think people have to wake up. It's time for us to wake up.